My name is Leonardo Montenegro. I'm from Ecuador. The name of my movie is When the Pigs Fly. It's about an old man that wants to be a YouTuber, that wants to build his own YouTube channel. But the reason why he does this is because he wants the love of his granddaughter. So I get the story of the film, yeah, by my own experiences. I love my grandmother, and she loves me. She's like my mother and also like my father. But what's most interesting is that she's also my sister. Um, for example, when I was a kid, she she played a lot of video games with me, and at first I thought that it was because she liked video games. But then I understood that she didn't want to play video games. She wanted to play with me, and she did a lot of stuff like that, like to be part of me, like of what I liked. She really put a lot of effort in liking what I liked. So I think that's really cute. I love that. I think that's awesome. Like when people try to be, because like in our times it's really difficult to be old, and but I find that old people really try really hard to be part of us. So I think that's awesome, and that's what my film is about. Well, the biggest difference is like my main character was a woman, and then it became a man, because it didn't matter if it was a woman or a man. I wanted to be a woman because my grandmother is a woman, but then it didn't matter. Like it didn't matter. So at the end, it was a man, just because like the best actor we found was a man. So that's the reason. No other. First of all, shooting a movie in Ecuador is actually really difficult, and we had no budget at all. So we did it with our friends and a lot of effort and trying to find everything. We had a lot of propers in the movie, and it was really difficult to find them for free, you know. And well, that was really difficult. And also we shooted in the mountains, and there was no easy access to the mountains, so we had to climb with all of the equipment. I think it's difficult to answer that, because all my life I knew I want to be a filmmaker. For me, it's like the dream come true, like being here with all these people, being interviewed by you and a whole lot of more people. So yeah, and for me, like always, like for some people, being astronaut or something was the dream. For me, since I was a child, being a filmmaker was the dream. So yeah, I don't know how. I don't know. I really don't know why. Maybe I have to think about it. But yeah, I just know that since I was a kid, I wanted to be a filmmaker. The name of my school is Incine. It's a really great school in Ecuador. It's the biggest school in Ecuador, but also it's a really small school at the same time. Even if it's the biggest film school in Ecuador, it's also really small. So we are like 60 persons there, like 60 persons. But at the same time, that's great, because first of all, the equipment is just for us. So well, that's good. And also something else that's really good is that we know each other really well. And in South America, we really, yeah, we are really close to each other. So yeah, it's a really good experience, and you know all the people that makes films. So you can easily speak with a famous actor in Ecuador, because we're a really small group of people. So yeah, that's a pro. the that we're a lot that we're not so much students. But maybe a con is that we don't have a lot of equipment. Yeah. So, for example, I'm seeing here like a lot of arrays just for illuminating the room. Like just all of the arrays that are here in this room are all the equipment we have. So, well, at the same time, it's good because they teach us to make movies with no so much equipment, but at the same time, it's hard. So, well, maybe that's a con. As well, from Latin America, I love Alejandro González Iñárritu. I don't know if you know him. Well, Alejandro González Iñárritu won. He was the one that made Revenant and Birdman. He's Mexican, so of course he's like I love him because, well, he's also from South America, but he did it. Like, he's doing great movies. So yeah, I take a lot of him. Like, I love his movies. Also, I love Sebastián Cordero. Sebastián Cordero is an Ecuadorian filmmaker, maybe the most important one. He's now working in Hollywood, and he's doing great. He's working on a lot of movies, and I love his movies. And he began with like really little budgets, so that's why I like him. So maybe those two are my inspiration directors, because for example, Sebastián Cordero, because he lives also in Ecuador. He also does. He thinks like me, or maybe I think like him. Yeah, because he lived all what I lived, and we're closer. So maybe that's the reason.
There are many similarities.
Yeah, we have similarities in our way to thinking. Like the way of thinking in South America is really different from other places. So that's why I love them. Because, for example, if you see, I don't know, some American director or European director, they do great movies, but I cannot see myself doing them because that's not who I am. Even if I love, for example, I don't know, Amélie in France, it's not my kind of movies because I didn't grew up like that, so I don't see myself doing that. But I can see myself doing what they've done, like Iñárritu or Sebastián Cordero. It has to be fun to watch, first of all, and fun is not funny. You just have to be there. Like, even if a movie is really slow and it's really painful to watch, it's fun anyways. Yeah, so I don't mean fun in a funny way. It doesn't have to be funny, but you have to really enjoy the experience to see. So I think that's really important. Second of all, I think it's really important that a movie has a point of view. Yeah, that's really important. The director and the screenwriters put like a lot of effort in the point of view of a certain topic. I think that makes a good movie. Like. It's a tricky one. Yeah. I think movies are already changing. For example, video games are becoming movies, and that's really interesting. Like 20 years ago, nobody thought that video games were going to be screenwritten, but now there's a lot of screenwriters doing video games. And I don't know if you play video games, but if you play video games, you realize that actually there's movies, there's characters, there's a lot of thinking about about how you make this character appealing and human. So yeah, maybe I think movies and video games will get closer and closer and closer. Yeah, that's what I think now. That's really interesting. Like, my first rule is that a director has to love his crew. It's really important that a director respects his crew and loves and admires his crew. Like, I love my design producer, I love my DOP. I think that's really important, like to admire your crew, because it's the only way to respect his thoughts. Because, a director doesn't do much, actually. It's kind of strange because he does a lot, but at the same time he does anything. So it's a weird position to be in. So that's why I think it's really important for a director to uh, respect and admire the crew.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my first rule. Uh, my second rule. Uh, you have to you have to have a point of view. Well, I already said this, but it's really important to really be clear about what you want. That's an obvious one, but not everybody does it. So it's really important to to be really to really know what you want. Yeah. And my third rule is you really have to enjoy doing it. It's really important. Like, if you don't enjoy doing it, nobody will enjoy doing it. So that are my three rules. Well, first of all, I consider myself a beginner because I'm beginning to make movies, but well, my advice for even more beginners than me is it's really hard. Maybe that's my first advice, because a lot of people think that maybe making movies is not that hard, but it's really painful to do a movie. Like, it can be really painful to live the experience, like all the stuff you have to do. But if even then, after all the effort and all the pain you will feel, you feel that you're doing great and you love your movie after all the work, well then continue doing it. If it's not, stop right now.